Hi guys, so I'm going to talk about some tricks in Python. We will implement slicing. So I'm going to write over here implementing slicing. And first of all, the format is sequence. And then brackets start, stop, the step. This is a sequence, start, stop, and step. And by default, everything is 0. Take a string, say, how are you? And first of all, if we want to get characters from 0 to 6, simply write it out. Print string, open bracket, close bracket, and 0 to 6. So this way, the string over here starts from 0 and it goes from 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we give 0 to 6, it should print from H 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's sixths. So it will print up to AR from H to AR. Let's run this quickly. Yeah, you can see the code for Python is there. How are you? From H to AR, it has printed a string. Now, if we want to get characters from, say, 2 to 5, then simply just type print string 2 is to 5. Whenever you don't write the string, it's considered as 0. Start and stop. So this would print out from 2. So 0, 1, 2, and 5, 4, 5. So W and A. You see, W and A have got printed. Whenever we want to get characters, say, using negative indices. So just write print string and say, I want to say take from minus 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Let's say minus 5 to minus 2. So what will this do? This will sorry, I put the commas for that. So this should print characters from last. Minus 2 is 0, 1, minus 1, minus 2. This one y, and then minus 3, minus 4. Total is 5. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that Y and P has got printed. And if we want to print that characters or a simple example to reverse a string. So print and a string, don't give anything, and give a step count of -1. So this will reverse the string. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -6. We'll start from 0, and by default, if you don't enter anything, it's 0, consider as 0. And first print u, since the step is given as -1, it will start printing from reverse order. This will print the reverse of the string. You get the reverse. Hi guys. So in this chapter, we are going to remove duplicate from a Python list. I'm going to create a list as my list is equal to put elements inside a list. B is a duplicate value. Just write printing the list elements. Print my list. Here we can mention it as list with duplicate values. And here we need to string change into string format. We are going to convert the create a dictionary using the list items as keys, and this will remove the duplicate items because dictionary will have only unique values as keys. Once the dictionary is using the list item as key to remove the duplicate values. So simply write dictionary dot from keys and my list. Here we can print it out saying that this is dictionary with list values. And then we are going to convert a dictionary back to list. And list and the data which we just entered here, we will write updated list with unique values. Not a string. And on running this code, you can see that first of all, my initial list with duplicate values was A, B, C, D. And once I created a dictionary with list values, I got it as A, B, and C. None is the keys value. So key and then value. So value is none for these keys are unique. That's why we have converted that list to dictionary. And once we convert this dictionary back to list, we get 10 unique values. Thanks. Hi guys. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about list comprehension. So list comprehension offers a shorter syntax when you want to create a new list based on the values of an existing list. So I'm going to take an example over here. Let's say I have a list of fruits. It's equal to apple, banana, kiwi, and say take a new list. First, I'm going to do it by a normal. I'm going to show you by the normal way how we can do a comprehension using the normal way, and then we are going to use a list comprehension. So this is a blank list. New list is equal to blank, and for x is equal to for x in fruits, if a in x, then we'll append the value of x in the new list. And here we are going to print a new list. This is going to be in the outer loop. So here we are checking like if the list contains elements with alphabet A, then append it to the new list. You can add a space over here to improve the formatting. And but when we execute this, the output will be apple and banana only because these two are the elements which have character A in it. So I executed this and you can see the output is apple and banana. Now similarly, this is a traditional way. Now to use list comprehension, I would comment these three lines and simply write new list is equal to, and within bracket is for list, x for x in fruits, if character A in x. So this will be the new list then. The single line I have formatted this entire function where I'm calculating, I'm saying like x in fruits and check if A is present in the elements. It will keep adding those, it will keep appending those elements in the list. And if you print this also, it will give you the same result. If say I want to change this and include B, so B is only in banana, I should get only banana in the list. This way, the list comprehension works. Thanks for watching. Hi. So in this session, we are going to understand about dictionary comprehension. So like the list comprehension, Python allows dictionary comprehension also. We can create dictionaries using simple expressions. Our dictionary comprehension takes the form of key and the value for key value in iterable. So I'll take a simple example of finding dictionary squares. Then curly brackets x is to x into 2 or x in range 10. So this is a dictionary comprehension statement where x is the key and this is a table which will calculate the squares of the number. It will loop until the value ranges till 10, square of 1, 2, 3, 4, like square of 2 would be 4, 3 would be 9, so on. So if I print this, and on executing this, you can see here the result is 0 is to 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 6 is to 5 is to 10, 81, so on. Thanks for watching this. So now we are going to talk about generator expressions. So generator in Python is very similar to list comprehension, but they yield a generator object as opposed to a list. They provide a memory efficient method of creating data instantly. And this is helpful for big data sets. The generator expressions, they replace square brackets with parentheses in Python. So we are going to see an example of generator expressions here. Squares gen, taking a variable x into 2 for x in range 10 in parentheses, and then number in square generators, and here we are going to print the number. So what this is going to do is it will first create, this is an iteration in which x is x will be a square and it will be in the range of 10. Every time x will increment by 1 and it will range up to 10 and the square will be calculated. So here, this thing will store the generator object, and here we are going to loop over the object and we are going to print each element of the inside the square generator object. So on executing this, we'll see the elements, the square of all the elements have got printed one by one. So now we are going to talk about unpackaging in Python. Unpackaging in Python enables us to take individual elements out of iterables, such as list and tuples, and put them into variables. So if we have elements like A, B, and C, and we have a list like 1, 2, and 3. So using unpackaging, the elements, individual elements will have the values of 1, 2, and 3. A will have value of 1, B will have value of 2, and C will have value of 3. Now I can print these variables separately. See, 1, 2, 3 is printed. I can even print just one variable. 1 is printed. So using unpackaging, I was able to take the individual elements out of the iterables. So in Python, you can give values to numerous variables in a single statement by using multiple assignments in one line. Meaning, if I write A and B is equal to 1, comma 2, I can assign them to both variables. If I write print A, it will print the value of 1. And if I write print B, it will print the value of 2. So it's able to assign numerous variables in a single statement. Executing this, you will see first it printed A is 1, then it printed B just 2. The zip function of a Python is a built-in function. So we are going to talk about the zip function. Zip function in Python is a built-in function. Input is 2 or more iterables, and output is a iterator in the form of a tuple. So, for example, we are going to take list 1, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, and list 2, which is equal to A, B, and C. We're going to loop over here. A comma B is equal to is in zip function list 1 comma list 2 and print A comma B. And before this, I can print over here what exactly the zip function is doing. Once I write this, I will explain it to you. So what this is doing is this will create a tuple, will combine these two lists and create the tuple. You can see printing zip is printing the object in the memory of the object. And once we loop over the zip element, it will print the values of list 1 and list 2. And this is in the form of tuple. In this chapter, we are going to talk about sorted function. So this is a built-in function in Python, and it will return a new sorted list after sorting the iterations like list, tuples, and strings. So, for example, if I take a sorted list, which is equal to one, and in this I use the function sorted, and then print it. So this will sort the entire list. You see the output is a sorted list.
Doc. The DocString, documentation string, of a class, function, module, or method can be accessed using the unique attribute .doc. It offers a means of describing the functionality and documentation of Python programming. In this example, we will def myfunc. This is a DocString. Pass print myfunc doc error. And on running this code, the output will be, this is a DocString. A robust built-in Python function called dir retrieves the names of the attributes of an object or a list of names in the current local scope. It's frequently employed for debugging, investigation, and introspection. Print dir. This is the output for dir function. Store and ask repr. In Python, developers use two specific methods called stir and repr to define string representations of objects. These methods are immediately called when you use functions like print or stir, or when an object is inspected in the interpreter. Str, self. The str function calls this method to return a string representation of the object for end users. It should return a human-readable representation of the object. Repr, self. The repr function returns an unambiguous string representation of an object, typically used for debugging and logging. The returned string should be valid Python code that can recreate the object if passed to eval. Class myClass, def, star, self, return myClass. Def, repr, self, return myClass. Obj, myClass. Print str, obj, repr, obj. Year's output, myClass. Try, except, else. Finally, in Python, the try, except, else, and finally, blocks are used for handling exceptions and executing cleanup code in case of exceptions or regardless of whether exceptions occur. Here's an explanation of each block in active voice. Try, block. In Python, developers use the try block to catch exceptions during execution, enclosing the code that might raise them and attempting to execute it. Except block. In Python, developers utilize the except block to handle exceptions within the try block, executing the code inside the except block if it matches the exception type. Else block. The else block is executed if the code inside the try block executes successfully without raising any exceptions. Developers typically use this block to execute code only if no exceptions occur. Finally, block. The finally block is a crucial block in programming that executes cleanup operations, such as closing files or releasing resources, regardless of exceptions. Try x rear 1 0 except 0 division error, print error division by 0, else print no exceptions raised. Finally, print this always runs. Output error division by 0. This always runs. Python pytest is a framework based on Python. It is mainly used to write API test cases. It helps you write better programs. In the present days of REST services, pytest is mainly used for API testing, even though we can use pytest to write simple to complex test cases, i.e., we can write codes to test API, UI, database, etc. How to install pytest? To install pytest, you can use the package manager for your Python environment, typically either pip or condo. Here are the general steps for installing pytest using pip. Pip install pytest. After installing pytest in use system, you need to verify the installing. Verify the installation. You can verify that pytest is installed by checking its version, pytest version. This should display installed version of pytest. You have successfully installed pytest. Now you can use pytest, run your tests using pytest. If you have not written any tests yet, you can start by creating a file. Below is the given examples to write a basic test. Write our basic test. In this example, we first imported the pytest module. After that, we have defined a function funcx. In this function, it adds 5 to x and returns the result. Then, we defined another function named test method. It uses an assert statement to check whether the result of func3 is equal to 8. The purpose of this test is to verify that when you pass 3 as an argument to func, it correctly adds 5 to it, resulting in 8. If this condition is true, the test passes. Otherwise, it will raise an assertion error. Just type the following command to run the program to run the code: pytest test sample.py output. In the below output, the argument 3 adds to 5, resulting in 8, and the condition is true. So the test has passed.
In this chapter, we are going to talk about two functions, any and on in Python. Any, this function returns true if at least one element in the iterable evaluates to true. If the iterable is empty, it will return false. So I want to show you an example. Say I have a sprint function any, and inside this there is a iterable which is inside brackets, iterable false. So if any of the element inside this is true, it will evaluate to true. If I execute this, you can see the output is true. So this is useful when you want to check if any elements in the iterable satisfies a condition. On this function returns true if all the elements in the iterable evaluates to true. If any of the element is false, then it returns a false. And if the iterable is empty, it will return a true. This is useful when we want to check if all the elements in the iterable satisfies a condition. So print on curly brackets, square brackets, 1 true, another false. So the output of this would be false, because here the two elements are false, so one is true. And the condition to met is all should be true. Then only it will they turn as true. So if I convert this as true and this also as true, then the output will become true.
Lambda. Functions. Lambda functions in Python are small, anonymous functions defined using the lambda keyword. They are typically used for short one-time operations where defining a named function is unnecessary. Lambda functions can take any number of arguments, but can only have a single expression. Square, lambda, x, x, 2 print, square 5. In this code, we will get the output as 25. In Python, developers use the del statement to delete objects. It can remove elements from lists, slices from lists or arrays, delete entire variables, and perform other actions. MyList, 1, 2, 3 del MyList, print MyList. In this code, the output will be 1, 3, is, and is not. Python comparison operators is and is not are used to verify the identity of an object. Rather of determining if two objects have the same value, they determine if they correspond to the same memory address, is, if two variables belong to the same memory item. This operator returns true. Otherwise, it returns false, is not. If two variables do not correspond to the same object in memory, this operator returns true. Here in this example, x, none print, x is none. The output of this program will be true. Functions, name, descriptions, clear, removes all items from the dictionary copy, returns a shallow copy of the dictionary from keys, creates a dictionary from the given sequence, get, returns the value for the given key items. Return the list with all dictionary keys with values keys. Returns a view object that displays a list of all the keys in the dictionary in order of insertion. Pop. Returns and removes the element with the given key. Popitem. Returns and removes the key value pair from the dictionary setDefault. Returns the value of a key if the key is in the dictionary, else inserts the key with a value to the dictionary values. Returns a view object containing all dictionary values, which can be accessed and iterated through efficiently updates the dictionary with the elements from another dictionary or an iterable of key value pairs. With this method, you can include new data or merge it with existing dictionary entries.
Hi. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about dictionary functions. My dictionary is equal to in curly brackets key value and then values. So for one, I have apple, two, colon, banana, comma 3, colon, mango. So my first function would be my dictionary dot clear, and what this function will do is it will clear the entire dictionary and return you a null value. If I print this, see, none is printed. My other function is get function. So what my get function would do is I want to get any element from this key values. So if I will just enter the key, the corresponding value would be printed. So this statement would print key values. Then let us comment over here, printing the key value corresponding to what? See, the apple has got printed, just corresponding to the one key value. And next function is items. My dictionary dot items. This would print the dictionary in the list format. Print this. You see the dictionary items 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and they are inside the brackets, which means it's a tuple. First, they are inside square brackets, which means it's a list, and then they are inside the normal brackets, which means it's a dictionary. My next function is keys. So my dictionary dot keys, and this would return me the values for all the keys. So here you can see that the key values are returned and all are in tuple format. Items function, keys function. After this, my next function is pop. So my dictionary pop function. So print my dictionary dot pop, and here you can give the number. So this particular string will, this particular key will be removed from the dictionary. So you see that the last element, second last element is apple, which means it removed the apple and showed it over and printed it. My other function is popitem. So this would my dictionary dot pop item, and this would remove any random value from dictionary. So here you can see in a random basis it selected the third value, which is a third, 3, and mango, using the pop item. And next function is fromkeys. So for fromkeys, I will use sequence, because for fromkeys, it can convert a sequence into a dictionary. So let's say if I have a sequence of A, B, C, then dictionary dot from keys is equal to sequence, comma, none. So what this will do, this is a sequence ABC, and by using from keys, you're adding sequence with none, which means it will form a dictionary which will have key values of ABC and corresponding values will be none. If I execute this, oh, I forgot to print it. Just add the print statement. So in the last line, you can see it has printed A, B, and C, and the corresponding values are none. It's inside the curly brackets, which means it's a dictionary with key and value as the items. Thanks for watching this.
Append method is used for adding elements to the end of the list. Copy method returns a shallow copy of a list. Clear method is used for removing all items from the list. Count method count the elements. Extend method adds each element of an iterable to the end of the list index. Method returns the lowest index where the element appears. Insert method inserts a given element at a given index in a list. Pop method removes and returns the last value from the list or the given index value. Remove method removes a given object from the list. Reverse method reverses objects of the list in place. Sort method sorts a list in ascending, descending, or user-defined order. Min method calculates the minimum of all the elements of the list. Max method calculates the maximum of all the elements of the list. Len method used to find the length of the list. Delete method deletes all the elements in provided range.
Hi, in this chapter, we are going to learn about list functions. So let's create a list as my list, and it will have a combination of alphabets and numbers. So for alphabets, I entered A and B. And for numbers, I just enter 1 and 2. So the first function I'm going to use is the list append. I'm going to append one number to this list and then print my list. So now this will print the updated list with appended number 3. Just run the program. You can see over here A, B, 1, 2, 3. My initial list was 2, 1, 2, and number 3 has got appended to the list. Now I'm going to use my list and insert function. So the syntax for insert is you need to give the index and the object to be inserted. Index will indicate where exactly in which position you want to insert it, and object means that where exactly which object you exactly want to insert it. You can also give a start and stop position. So in between the start and stop position, the particular value will get inserted. So insert, and in the second position, I'm going to insert character C. So index number 2 and object number C. Now if I print my list, You can see now the object C has got inserted on the second position. So now let's see another function, which is extend. I will just quickly name these functions. That is easier for you to understand. In the extend function, I'm going to create my list number 2, which will have elements as digits 7, 8, and 9. And now if I want to extend it, so I will write my list dot extend and with my list number 2. So if I print now my list, it should be printing the extended version of the list. Next function is the list sum. So we can only find the sum of the list if all the elements are digits. So first, let's find the sum of list 2, and it will give you the sum of 7, 8, 9, which is 24. But in case if I try to find the sum of, say, my list, which is also having characters, it will provide an error over here because you need to have integers and it found string inside the list. So this way we can find the sum of the list. Now if I want to use count function, my list dot count, and the syntax is self value. We need to provide the value, and if we find the number of times that particular value is occurring in the list. So let's say if I want to find the element 1 inside my list, I need to print it out. So here you can see it has printed the number of instances of the list. Let's say if I have one more instance of the same number, same integer. Now if I print it out, you can see the count of 1 has incremented to 2. That means the number of instances in the list with element number 1 are 2. So now let's talk about another function, which is length. Length is used to find the length of the list. So my list, and before that, I need to enter length function, open and close the brackets. This will find the length of the string. Total number length is currently 2 and 3, 5. So since I had appended this list 2 over here, so the new list is having 3 and 3 6 and 4 10 digits. If I do not write this statement, then my string will have only 7 digits because I'm inserting values over here. 2 and 3 were inserted, that's why 5 and 2, 7. If next function would be minimum, so print minimum in the list. So this function will find out the minimum value inside the list. The minimum value is 1. And again, you need to enter list with the same data types. So minimum in my list 2 is 7. So it printed out 7. If I want to find maximum value in my list, so this will enter 9 because my list 2 has maximum value of 9. I'm executing, you can see it has printed the value of 9. So the next function is reverse. Reverse will reverse all the elements of the list. Here we need to provide the argument as list. Now if we print the new list, it will be in reversed format. So you can see my initial list was ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and 7, 9. And my current list is 9, 7, 8, 7, 3, 1. So the next function is pop. Pop will take out the item from the element. So if I give my list dot pop, it will display the last element. If I don't give any arguments inside the pop, if I give argument, it will display the item at the particular index. Here I need to write print. The first I'm trying without the argument. It should pop up the last element in the list. So the last element is A. And here you can see the A has got printed. And if I give an argument, say index number 2, so the element at index number 2 is 7, and that is got printed 0, 1, 2. Now delete this function, deletes the elements present in the list at the particular index. So if I give the index as 0, this will delete the element present in the index 0. And after that, if I print my list, 9 will not be there. So here now you can see 9 has got deleted and it has printed the rest of the elements. Similarly, we have a function as the windows. my list dot remove, and here you can give a value. I want to remove the element 3 in it, and then again print my list. So now the element 3 would be removed. So here you can see that before this I had the element 3, and now I don't have the element 3. So this way, all these are the various important functions of list. So you find it important and helpful. Thanks for watching my video.